Hello friends, thanks for joining me for this Hatha practice. It's just going to be a little shake it off, a little bit of movement, get into our bodies, non-flow practice. Okay, so if you please join me standing on our feet. And just take a moment to kind of shift around and find your feet, so to speak. All right. And what does it feel like to shift your weight around and pick up your toes and put them back down again? You might take a moment to lift up your heels too. So I don't know what you've been doing today, but you probably haven't been moving in this weird sort of way. So just kind of check in with all your parts that connect to the ground. And then we'll start to come into stillness here on our feet, yeah? And notice what you tend to do with your legs. So if you tend to let if your feet rather tend to kind of roll inward, see if you can't kind of push your weight to the outside edges of the feet, and then bring that sense of like strength to the outer hips and down the legs. So instead of letting the knees kind of knock inward, we're gonna opening up and stacking ourselves up here, okay? So a bit of strength and integrity through the legs. Not a lot, we're not clenching, but just, it is mountain pose, yeah? So find that stability from your hips down through the heels. We might take our hands to the hips for a moment, and we're gonna get a little Elvis-y, pelvis-y. So some standing cat-cows, so just allowing the pelvis to tip forward and then tip way back. And when you tip way back, you're gonna clench your bum, but just back and forth a few times. Okay. Again, just kind of building your awareness, observations. How does it feel to move like this? Cool. And then we're gonna bring our pelvis into kind of a more neutral space, so we're not dumping forward, nor are we over clenching our bum. And then from here, we're gonna take a big bend into the left knee, and in doing so, let your right hip zinga, flare out. Come back up through center. Guess what? Other side, bend the right knee, let your left hip really exaggerate, dip out to the left side. And we'll keep going a couple times. So bend the left knee, stick your hip out to the right. Come on up. Bend the right knee, stick your left hip out to the left. Come on up. Again, bend the left knee, hip out to the right. Come on up. Last time, bend the right knee, stick your left hip out to the left. Cool, we're gonna come back up. All right, so yeah, we're just working ourselves up from the ground. All right, so let's go ahead and bring a hand on the belly and a hand over the heart, and it doesn't matter which one. You might close your eyes here. And just give yourself some perhaps more mindful breaths, breathing a little deeper. So you can feel both of your hands move with the breath, right? Let your belly inflate, let your rib cage move. Keeping the pelvis neutral, keeping the integrity to your feet again, trying not to let the knees or ankles collapse inward. And then rising up, see if you can let go of any tension present in the face, the jaw, the eyebrows. And just take a moment here to really connect to your body a little bit more so. Hey body, how you doing? And while you're checking in, just acknowledge whatever kind of mental space and emotional space you're in right now. Remember, nothing's permanent. So just acknowledge without getting too latched onto how you are in this moment. But do take with you into the practice your own discernment about how postures feel, and if there's anything that's a bit much, feel free to ignore me or do your own thing. I'm just happy you're here sharing your time and practice with me. I love hanging out with you. All right, friends, you can keep your eyes closed, but just let your hands maybe drop down by your side and let the palms face forward so your collarbones are nice and broad. Give your shoulders a little bit of shrug if you want. And while we're standing here, you might soften the knees a bit and kind of sink your hips down, almost squat-like, and you decide how low. All right, and then go ahead and rise back up. Maybe inhale as you come up. Bend the knees and exhale, push your seat back, a bit of upright squat. Open or closed eyes. One more time, inhale, rising up. And exhale, coming back down into that squat. And as you come up, open your eyes, reach your arms out wide, and draw the shoulder blades back toward each other. And if you want, you can let your belly kind of flare out, your rib cage flare out as you let your hips kind of flare out behind you. So that kind of cow belly pose to the hips. And if you want, you can turn your chin up. So just think of kind of stretching through the upper half of the body. And then keeping your arms wide, bring your pelvis more into a neutral space, and then maybe even clench it up a bit, and then you can lift the heart even more, so more like a standing back bend. Excellent. Come on up. Neutral pelvis. And we're going to reach our left arm over to the right and then hook it with your right arm. Give your shoulders a bit of a shrug. So you're kind of pinning your arms tightly across the chest, shoulder blades flat against the rib cage behind you. Let's go ahead and take a big inhale. As we exhale, twist the upper body to the right, and if you want, turn your head to the left. Right. And keeping your neck long and your shoulders drawn down. And then we'll unwind the head and inhale, reach the arms open so wide. Exhale, right arm over to the left. Guess what? Hook it. Left arm clamps around the right. Give the shoulders a little bit of a shrug. Draw the shoulder blades down. Same thing. Breathing in. And as we breathe out, twist the upper body to your left. Maybe turn the head to the right. Smooth inhales and exhales. Beautiful. Unwind your head. Inhale, wave the arms out wide. And as we exhale, we can let the hands just relax down. The shoulders a bit of a shrug. And we'll go ahead and step wide on our mat. So taking your feet wide, we'll turn the right toes to the short edge of the mat. And then go ahead and bend into the right knee, sinking low. And then push up, come up high. Again, bending into the right knee. You decide how low you want to sink. And then straighten out that right leg, come back up. One more time, bending into the right knee. And this time we can come back up. And as you come back up, tip your upper body to the left. And if you want, turn your chin to the right. You can keep your hands by your side on your hips. If you want, you can reach your right, both hands overhead, but grab a hold of the right wrist if you want. I kind of feel like keeping my shoulders down right now. All right, so just a little bit of a lateral bend, a little bit of a side bend. Good. And then from this place, stack your head and shoulders over the pelvis. Bend into the right knee. And we're going to spin that back left heel up. If this feels a bit wobbly for you today, keep the left foot flat, rooted, grounded down, okay? So whatever works for you. And this time we might either reach our hands back, palms face each other, or interlace your fingers. You can draw the shoulders back. Squeeze, squeeze now your bum, this left quad. Take an inhale. And with a long spine, we'll exhale, tip the chest forward. So again, you can do this with the left heel up or the left heel flat. We're gonna go up and down a couple times, friends. So inhale, rise back up. Exhale, tipping forward. Inhale to come up. And exhale, tip forward. As you tip forward, we're going to pivot and plant that left heel flat and turn all the toes to the wide edge. Take a moment right here. So you're going to feel a hamstring stretch likely. If it's a bit much, come up a little higher or just stay upright entirely. Or halfway-ish. Cool. And then root into your feet, come all the way up. Hands to your hips. Go ahead and turn the left toes to the short edge of the mat. And here we go. Bend into that left knee, sink as low as you want. And then push up. We rise. Again, bending into the left knee. Push on up and rise. Good. Last time we bend into that left knee, sink, 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 sink. And then come on up. And as you're up, maybe we tip the upper body a bit to the right, turn the chin to the left. Hands wherever you want them. Keeping the chest open. Beautiful. Head and shoulders back over the hips. Bend into the left knee. And then we're going to spin the right heel up. You may have to shorten your stance a little bit. So either this crescent lunge shape or pivot and plant the right heel for a more warrior one shape. Up to you. Hands reaching back, palms facing each other, or if you want, interlace those fingers. Power up your back right hip and leg, and inhale hard up. And exhale, tip forward. Again, inhale, rising up. Exhale, tip forward. Let's inhale, rise up. And exhale as we tip forward. Cool. Pivot and plant the right heel. Again, we'll turn all the toes to the wide edge, and this time we'll fold down. So go ahead and soften your knees and take it gently. Let your head hang. And then and only then, if it feels right to do so, you can straighten out your legs. Go ahead and release your hands to the floor. And if you want to get a little more inner thigh stretch, you can lunge from one side and then the other. All right. And then from here, we can keep both knees soft. Stop lunging if you're lunging. And heel toe your feet toward each other. So just move in there until your feet are about hips distance. And then we're going to bend the knees and sink the hips and lift the heels and come on down and ploppity plop. Take your bum to the floor. All right. And as you do so, bring the heels and the feet, the soles of the feet together. Let your knees drop wide. Feel free to lean against a wall or a bed or a sofa. Your heels can be very close to the perineum, or you can let the heels be farther away, so make this your own. Lastly, you can always elevate the hips or place a couple rolled blankets or bolsters underneath your legs for a little more support, or yoga blocks. Lots of different shapes to do here. I just don't have any props in the room with me right now. All right, so shift and adjust if you need. And practitioner's choice. You can grab a hold of your feet and sit up nice and tall. You can hinge forward and fold. You can round your spine into a letter C. You can move your head around. All right, do whatever you want to do here. Every shape kind of has a whole bunch of different variations within it. So find kind of what's calling your name. And have a handful of breaths in that particular shape. And just leaning into the body, leaning into the breath, but not being forceful within the boundaries of your body today. Good, one more round of breath. And then we can come on up. As we come up, Feel free to lean back on your hands. Bring your knees up. And friends, we're gonna orientate ourselves so that we're on the long way of our mat, simply so that we can come all the way down and hug the knees in. Oh, rock from side to side. Swivel out your ankles. And then we can go ahead and release the feet to the floor. Maybe the feet are as wide as our yoga mat, and take an inhale. As you exhale, let your knees flop and drop to the right. If you want, turn your head to the left. So just allowing gravity to wash over the whole body, but the hips and the legs in particular. Right foot is still on the right edge of the mat, left foot is on the left edge of the mat. And one more breath. And then unwinding the head if you turned it. Bring the knees up through center. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let your knees flop and drop to the left. If you want, turn your head to the right. Breathing here. Good, and then we're going to unwind the head and unwind the hips and bring those knees up through center. And then from here, just slowly, gently extend your right foot to the right corner of the mat, left foot to the left corner of the mat, arms wherever you'd like them, and just take a moment to find a comfortable stillness as we take a short and sweet little Shavasana. And just as you are, you can start to breathe a little bit deeper. And bring a little wiggle wiggle to fingers and toes, and maybe wrists and ankles or head and neck. If you'd like, you can take a whole body stretch. And then as you release, gently roll to your left or right side. And then using your hands and arms, you can press yourself up to take a comfortable seat. So you root down, sit up, and together. Inhaling, hands high up and overhead. Exhaling, hands down in front of the heart. Thank you so much for joining me for this simple routine of just a little bit of gentle movement I hope your body's feeling good. I hope your mind is feeling good as well. Please be well, be safe, be kind, and peace to you.